Hello everyone and welcome back to The Twisted Hazel. My name is Corey and today we are doing my full review of these Volley Australia Overgrip leather boots. Now, I did do an unboxing of these a while ago, so if you want to watch that, you can subscribe to our channel and see it in the previous videos. And if you are enjoying this video, would love it if you could give it a like. But in that unboxing, I was quite impressed by the quality of them, especially considering that I only paid 50 Australian dollars for them. Now, that is on sale. They are currently actually even less than that now. You can actually get them for $45, but they were originally $150. Now, these are definitely not a work boot. Despite their looks, they are certainly much more like a pair of like Converse All-Stars or something like that in leather. Volley Australia was originally known as Dunlop Volley, and they are predominantly a sneaker company that makes canvas type tennis shoes. They did do throughout the years they have gone into like basketball shoes and things like that, but they tend to sort of stick to your basic, very minimalist sort of canvas sneaker range. They do have some leather boots, and they do have work boots as well that have steel toe taps in them and things, but these are certainly, I wouldn't consider these a work boot. They are much more like a sneaker that has work boot aesthetics. They are leather. They are a soft nappa leather on the outside, but the lining is a canvas lining on the inside, so it's quite a thin leather, but that does make them quite lightweight, which is very nice. The outsole is a rubber outsole, and they've got the herringbone pattern on them, which is very reminiscent of all of their heritage sneaker range. And it is, now I believe it is strobel stitched. Yes, it's strobel stitched, which basically means that the midsole is stitched onto the bottom of the upper. And then the outsole itself is a molded rubber outsole, so it's basically molded. It's molded onto the bottom of the outsole, the bottom of the upper, and the midsole. So they're certainly not waterproof. The leather is too thin for that, and but they are quite robust when it comes to not allowing too much water to seep in, because they have got quite a chunky sole on them as well. The insole that they've got in there is what they call their damper tech insole, which is just a basic foam, and I was a little bit skeptical about it when I first got it, but having worn them for a while now, they're surprisingly comfortable. So the damper tech, I don't know how long this would last. It doesn't seem like the highest quality foam in the world, so it'll probably squish down over time, but having worn these quite a few times, they are surprisingly comfortable. The insole, the inside of them, it's hard to say without cutting them open, which I'm not going to do. I'm not Rose Anvil, sorry, but when I press on the inside of them, I can actually feel the voids that are obviously on the built into the outsole, but they don't feel hollow. It feels like the voids have something inside of them, whether it's like some foam or something like that. And like I said, when I've been walking around with them with the insoles in them, they're very comfortable. I don't feel any voids or any weird sort of shapes in my foot. So yeah, they are surprisingly comfortable for, quite frankly, fairly like simple, basic construction techniques. the they have gotten dirty quite easily. So if you are trying to keep them nice and plush and everything, to keep the leather all fancy and everything, you are going to have to clean them quite regularly. They do come in a black. I would assume the black probably won't dirty up as much as these ones do, but they sort of do dirty. The leather dirties up and stains quite easily, so you sort of have to stay on top of that, maybe even put some leather proofing on them. Like I said, they are lined both on the tongue and the inside with the canvas lining, which is what they traditionally made their sneakers out of, their tennis sneakers and such. They've also got a textile stitching around the very top of the boot, and also with the pull tag as well. And it's actually a reasonable size pull tag. I can actually get, I've got big fat fingers from arthritis, and I can actually get my fingers in there quite easily. So they're actually quite easy to get on, which is nice as well. They're very lightweight. So they are a great boot for both the transitional periods, sort of summer leading into autumn, and I guess spring towards summer, and for summer they're quite nice as well. The canvas lining also makes them quite good for summer. They're certainly not a winter boot. I barely wore them over winter because they were just, they're too thin. You don't get enough insulation from them, and also, like I said, they just stained really easily. So mud and dirt and rain and everything just like filthied them up, really quickly. The sole itself is quite robust. I've walked around in them a lot, and there's very little wear on them, so that's quite good. However, I have noticed there is a little bit, it's not really coming away, but there's like some little chips or tiny little gaps in a couple of the places where the sole has been where the sole is attached to the leather. So it's something I am going to have to watch on that. But otherwise, they've actually been quite robust. They've held up quite well. So what else can I say about them? Well, they've got the leather trim on the edges there, as well as, and they've got metal eyelets, both branded with Volley Australia, which is quite nice, and your basic sneaker type cotton laces. It's all pretty basic and standard. They are made in Vietnam, which is not unusual for sneaker companies these days. Allows them to keep their prices down for that very reason. But Volley Australia is still a heritage brand. They've been around since the 1930s, and I think they're still Australian owned, or they're part of an Australian owned group of brands, which is nice because there's very few Australian sneaker companies out there. The one thing about these that you need to be aware of is they are a small make. They do actually recommend you go up a size on the Volley website, and I'm actually glad I did. I'm usually a US size 10, European 43, and I got these in a US size 11, and I'm really glad that I did, because despite having like a nice wide-ish toe box, they're surprisingly narrow around this section here, but I'm certainly glad that I went up a size, because they don't slip around at all. They fit me really, really well. So certainly size up one size, or at the very minimum half size, but I don't think they do them in half sizes. I think they only do them in full sizes if you're going to go for them. What's my final opinion on these? Well, they are a nice casual boot with work boot aesthetics, but that, like I said, they are more like a sneaker. Like I said, more like a leather Chuck Taylor, or something like the Converse Chuck Taylors or something like that. Would I have paid $150 for them at full price? If I had, I probably would have been a bit disappointed, simply because the leather, while it is nice, high quality Napa leather, it is very thin and it is lined with canvas. So if I had bought them at full price, I probably wouldn't have felt they were worth that. But for $50 or $45, which is what they are at the moment, it's a no-brainer. They're a great pair of boots for that price. like I said, they're just a pair of boots that I just chuck on to go down the street or go for a walk in. They're quite comfortable. They've got the removable insole, so even if you don't like their foam damper tech thing, or if it gets squished over time, you can always replace that. And look, they've held up. I doubt that they would hold up very long if you were wearing them on a construction site or even for gardening, which is what I do. But certainly as a casual boot, yeah, I certainly think that for the money, they're a decent pair of boots. Well, thank you very much everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed our video, and we'd love to hear all of your comments and any suggestions or anything you want to talk about. We'd love to hear from you all. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.